Vince McMahon is going to return to WWE. It doesn't matter what people may feel about him. It doesn't matter how people might view him. It doesn't matter what he did. McMahon will likely return within the next 2 years to WWE, just based off of how WWE has handled this entire McMahon-Lesnar, Janelle Grant situation. It feels like we are in a place where WWE doesn't care about the consequences or the backlash from fans any longer. And why would they? WWE is currently in their most profitable era ever. They are making more money than they have ever made, and they just sealed a deal with Disney to bring WWE programming to ESPN. So with all of this money coming in from these big money deals from Peacock, ESPN, Netflix, they feel like they are beyond criticism. And the reality is that feeling is true. WWE has had a lot of bad PR over the past couple of years, from the Janelle Grant lawsuit to the various other instances of McMahon potentially paying people to keep their silence, and also, of course, the return to prominence of the Ring Boy allegations, where several young men were abused under McMahon's watch in the WWF. And you have a confluence of factors that would sink any other company, any other brand, but for whatever reason, it hasn't impacted WWE in the way that people thought it would. None of this has, and for that reason, they felt comfortable enough to bring back a guy like Brock Lesnar, who is accused of almost participating in, or almost willingly participating in, an act of trafficking. And you combine that with the reaction that people have had, specifically WWE officials, it really shows you where their priorities are. WWE President Nick Khan basically said that he only factors in convictions, criminal convictions, when taking into account whether or not a talent should be on TV or they should be associated. And in his view, because Lesnar was not convicted of anything, therefore, he should be able to be used on WWE TV. Triple H has used the line of it was time for Brock to come home, even though Triple H canceled a press conference because he was a coward and too scared to answer any legitimate questions about Brock's return, and instead decided to go to fans who would glaze him at every turn in that WWE post show. But regardless, Triple H made his voice very apparent on this, and he made it clear that he didn't have a problem with it. You combine that with Michael Cole, who came out and told the story of how all of this came together on WWE Raw the night after Lesnar's return, stating that Lesnar was called by Nick Khan and Triple H and told it was time to come home. All of this tells you everything you need to know about where the company and their priorities lie. They do not care about the perception of their company. They do not care about the scandals of the past coming back to haunt them. They do not care about anything, because if you look at even just the past month, it's not just them bringing back Brock Lesnar. It is the way that they try to whitewash the legacy of Hulk Hogan following his passing. It is combined with the fact that Triple H was very prominently placed in a position within Trump's Council of Wellness and Fitness, and WWE actually showed Trump on screen, which obviously, considering the fact that Trump has found himself in the middle of several scandals, including the monstrous Jeffrey Epstein scandal, it is insane to think that the same company that ignored politics to the degree that WWE did for as long as they did under McMahon would do something like that. Yet, here we are. Triple H is who he is. He has said what he said. He has done what he's done. And I think because of that, they view all of this, the criticisms of McMahon, the criticisms of Lesnar, the criticisms of anything associated with these scandals or skeletons that they may have, as wokeness or as cancel culture coming for them, and they are not afraid of it. And that is the audience that WWE is courting, and that's fine if that's what they want to do. The only issue is that over time, you are going to erode away your true fan base. And that is a topic for a separate video. But my point is, this is the same company that is willing to push everything to the side in exchange for big moments. That is the reason why Brock came back. Brock Lesnar returned because WWE felt like they needed a major moment for that show. They felt like they wanted to control the narrative. They felt like they wanted to ensure that everyone that night was talking about WWE. And that is their business model. And if you ask me, as soon as the legal process is finished with McMahon, I do think that the first phone call he is going to get is going to be Triple H telling him to come home. And this is, again, the same company that was not hindered by bringing McMahon out after the original allegations in 2022 came out. Remember, McMahon appeared on USA Network on SmackDown the week the Wall Street Journal story came out. So it's not going to be a case of whether or not the networks are going to allow it. They will. They have shown that they have no spine or backbone when it comes to any of this stuff. So for them, I think it is more of, how can we help WWE create better television? And at the end of the day, these moments are part of what WWE does. And whether or not this means the McMahon is going to come back in a position of actual true power, I highly doubt it. I think that he's going to be a figurehead that they roll out every now and then. Perhaps this is going to mean that he and Paul Levesque are going to have more deeper conversations about the creative process or a certain talent. That's all truly possible. But it is crazy when you think about not only the horrendous Janelle Grant allegations, but everything about Vince leading back to the 90s and 80s, from Rita Chatterton to his knowledge of the Ring Boy scandal, where several young boys were abused, and he brought back the people involved in that. It is insane to think that a company would value that man, that legacy, that person over just telling good stories and being a good wrestling show. But that is where we are. WWE feels like they not only can do this, but must do this. I really do think that that is true. I hope I'm wrong. I really do. In the end, I guess we'll see.